we're seeing that. And we're like, okay, so we just paid a fortune for you for cancer care, but at the same time, you're putting your body at risk, you're putting yourself at risk because of this. Yes, the system is fucked. I will never say that the system is perfect. What I hear on Clubhouse, social media, what I hear from like Elizabeth Warren types, is their solutions are not it. And if you ask for one solitary solution overall, it's got to be a state-run issue with federal backing and federal regulation behind it. But you can't have a blanket fucking policy that really actually covers everybody, especially if you want to put in a universal health plan. And first, you have to define what that universal health plan is, whether it's going to cover mental, behavioral health, medical devices, pharmaceutical, dental, your eyes, ophthalmology. If you're going to cover all of that, including all the ancillary services that go with that, now that's a huge price tag. That's a massive one. And Obamacare was a very much, even under the silver plans, the gold plans, they stripped out a lot of things that people aren't even aware that if they get a certain disease, if they receive a certain medication, that shit ain't covered under the Obamacare. That's not even remotely covered under the ACA. It's a very slim amount.
I was just going to say, it looks like Norm has been waiting, and then Progressive after Norm.
Yeah, no, I'd like to talk about.
Norm, you've got a green butthole. You can talk about whatever the fuck you want.
When I was 3 years old, I remember I had this little train. I just wanted to get talking about the election. That's all, because very briefly and before coffee, I'd say the Democrats, and by the way, Brad is a wealth of knowledge on healthcare, obviously.
It's his fucking wheelhouse.
Yeah, he knows a lot. He's very good at it. And there's a lot to be considered. But I don't think we're going to change our healthcare plans anytime in the future unless Donnie, the president, dissolves the Senate and the Supreme Court. But because he's, because that's what the Democratic Socialists.
Mondami wasn't born on American soil.
I know.
Well, then he can't be president.
I know. I'm making a bad joke because he's the president of our city right now, and he's doing.
He's the president of your city, pal, not mine.
I know. Well, I'm going to send him to you, Steve. So.
I've got Nithya Raman, who's going to be the next mayor of LA. So.
I think we should arrest Mamdani. Mamdani goes around saying, I'm going to arrest Netanyahu.
Well, tell you what, Andrew, why don't you wait a couple of minutes, wait for Norm, wait for Progressive, and then you can talk about arresting Madami. You just got on stage like literally a minute ago, so hang out and wait.
But it was a good joke.
And there he goes.
So I think, that asks, is it going to be a hate election? And, well, that's a given, I would say. Very superficially, I'd say that the Dems will run on no war, affordability, no kings, we hate Trump. And that's actually not too bad. Let's start with affordability, no kings, or affordability, no war, no kings, hate Trump. Those seem to be a good order. And the Republicans are going to run on the Democrats are crazy. Communists. They want to change your kid's gender. They're crazy. No transgenders in sports. I can't think of anything else really that the Republicans are going to run on, but I'm not an expert when it comes to the Republican platform. So I'd be interested to hear what will, even from individuals, what will motivate them in the coming primaries. I think, I'm sorry, not the primaries, the midterms. Again, I'm pre-coffee. I'm not even vertical yet. Because I had a sleep deficit, so I paid off my sleep debt. So the Democrats are, no war. That's a pretty strong platform plan. We hate Trump. We know hate is a very powerful motivator. So will people start voting more Democratic because of Trump? On the one hand, and what will happen to the Republicans? And here's the most important question. We are a 30-30 27, 27, and then 45 country. I mean, 27% Democrat, 27% Republican, and 45% independent. Steve, if I recall correctly, let me know. I think you're an independent. So basically, a plurality of the country is independent. How will we swing independent voters?
Yes, I did leave the Republican Party about 2 years ago after being in the Republican Party for 25 years. I'm an independent. That's correct.
You mind if I ask you a side note why you left? Because maybe that'll help us.
Yes, because I was disgusted with both platforms, the Democratic and the Republican Party, and what their narratives were. I was disgusted. I was vomiting in my mouth. That's what.
What disgusted you about the Republican platform?
Other people want to speak. I mean, you could just a laundry list. Yeah.
All right, maybe.
Well, let me just say it this way.
Yeah.
Ronald Reagan would roll over in his grave if he saw the Republican Party today. I follow basically Reagan economics, even though I don't agree with everything. I think Ronald Reagan was the perfect Republican candidate for president, but that's for another time.
Okay, so you were a Reagan economic Republican, a Reagan Republican economically.
I was actually a Reagan Democrat. I was a Democrat when I voted for Reagan. Yes, a Reagan Democrat, yes.
See, I think that'll never happen again. We had a lot of Democrats who voted for Reagan. They found him appealing. It's interesting. I think Trump did get a bunch of Democrats voting for him, and certainly a bunch of independents. But I think he squandered that political capital with the war. Again, I support him in his war effort, but he is impulsive, vengeful, Eddie.
He has no filter.
No filter. And he's a character. He has weird, things that he does. He puts his
proclivities, weird proclivities.
Weird proclivities, yes.
He lies all the time.
Yes. However, I will say in his defense that he is a necessary corrective to a country that had lurched leftward, and I think he's denying that it was doing so. That we had lurched into crazy land, and he's a little bit crazy as well, and I think he's lurching us back to the center. Culture wars included, and I mean by his limit on both universities.
I would argue he's polarizing us to the extremes of each side, but go ahead.
I think that's a fair observation as well. So this is what I want to hear. What do we think that will be the main issues going into November? Because it's a big deal. If the Democrats take back the House, they'll impeach him, and they'll clip his wings a little bit. I don't think they'll win the impeachment.
I don't think so, because they need a 67% vote in the Senate, and they're not going to have 67 votes to do it. So I disagree with that one
hard
too.
to do. But they're gonna do their best, and it's within reach for them. I think. I'm saying, Democrats, and I think they will impeach him. I think that's a given, and they'll be the heads of the committees. They'll start investigating him. They will clip his wings. He will not have the same free hand. So with that setup, I'm interested to hear what people think about the upcoming midterms. Mainly because that's why I came into the room, because of the title. But because of GOP midterm strategy, Democratic Party midterm strategy, for that matter, we can talk about Fauci. So let me take my breath and work on a cup of coffee. We can talk about any of those things. I'll come to the Fauci thing as well.
Thank you, Norm. Thank you, Norm.
Thank you.
Next up is Progressive, and then Andrew. Hi, Progressive.
Hey, good morning, Steve. Good morning, Scott. Good morning, El Normo. Good morning, Viking. Loving your new
Good morning, Mr. Green Jeans.
loving
Mr. Moose. Good morning, Captain Kangaroo.
I'm loving your new morning show, Scott. Yesterday was a banger, and I hope you guys keep doing this morning show every day, but maybe create a house, put it on record, make it a little more, condition it more for your audience. But anyways, the country's $200 trillion in debt. And if you look at the amount per taxpayer, it's approaching $500,000 per taxpayer, which is owed just to the federal government, not your state, not your municipality. That's almost 20 trillion nationally for just state and city debt. The numbers are catastrophic. In 20 years, 25 years since 9/11, we have literally reversed course financially as a nation 100 years. And it's only going up. And the criticism of Trump of being a big spender, not a libertarian, austere, fiscally prudent conservative, is the criticism. He is a huge spender. He is our Midas. He is our Uncle Sam with a golden thumb. But the amount of debt per taxpayer is growing, and that number is real. It's gonna show up in your taxes. It's already showing up in your property taxes. Countless Americans are losing their homes because they cannot afford to continue to service their property taxes. And you were a Democrat who voted for Ronald Reagan. I've heard great things about Ronald Reagan. I've heard great things about Nixon. But the point is, if America goes socialist, you're living in a delusion and an illusion. We already are a socialist country. Social Security at over $1 trillion a year, and our national interest and our military defense over $1 trillion a year each. The biggest problem is Medicare, Medicaid. At over $4 trillion a year, we create an industry for profit of the highest scale ever, where even Russian scammers are coming in to take from our annual $4 trillion plus budget, because it's that much money. And the scams are that big. And what has J.D. Vance, our scams are done? He giggles when he gets a Tic Tac at Lindsey Graham's funeral. Where are the mass arrests of all the criminal syndicates? Look at Viking. He's talking about these huge multi-billion-dollar healthcare groups, hospital chains, insurance providers. Then you got the private equity investors who own these health insurance corporations or large hospital groups throughout the country. When I worked at Google, I was working side by side with a woman who ran the advertising for these massive hospital groups and for these primary care physician emergency clinics, etc. It's a huge business. I've heard doctors scheming and scamming on the treadmill about how they're going to go direct to consumer and get that Medicaid money. It's a business, and the business of America is business, but the debt has grown to apocalyptic levels. If you are a 21-year-old female today, just graduated college, you're moving to a major city to go work for a major corporation, you've been saddled with $500,000 in debt that you can't feel, you can't see. You see it showing up in rising prices like your rent and your groceries and your gas, etc. That's real inflation. But you haven't felt the pain of the debt that your government and your elected politicians have put on your back. Every major politician is to blame. None of them are fiscally conservative. Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders are the biggest hypocrite frauds because they've taken in over $1 billion from these mega corporations, and they keep screaming, spend, spend, spend my housing bill, spend my new Medicare, Medicaid up there, spend, spend, spend. These people can't run a business, and they just create content propaganda videos every single day. So they're just brainwashing us and hypnotizing us to not feel the pain. But the numbers do not lie. And in my opinion, when you compare socialism and communism versus laissez-faire capitalism, laissez-faire capitalism is the real true economic model for creating economic abundance at scale. And if you have two competing systems, you will find that the future economy, according to Ayn Rand philosophy, will always be laissez-faire capitalism. And if you think that socialist, communist, Democrat, progressive pluralists are going to be able to rein them in and put them in their system, it's not going to work. There will be breakaway economic systems that rip away from the socialist communist paradigm, which is just a fraud. It's not a real business. When you run a pizza shop, you got to sell each slice at a profit. And our government is no different. Our government has to operate as if it was a for-profit business, not a non-profit money printing scam fraud operation. Look at Norway. Look at Saudi Arabia. These countries are the future of the world because they're not in debt like us. And they've invested in Wall Street and they've quadrupled or even 10x'd their sovereign wealth funds. When you're born in Norway, you're born with fucking 200,000 or 500,000 in your back pocket. I want to move to Norway. I don't want to live in this clown world. Our politicians are lying to us and spamming us all day, every day. It never will end. And they know it. It is a race to the bottom. And it's the king of the hill of spam. And Donald Trump, unfortunately, is not the Ron Paul libertarian that we needed. And if he was, he really would have no power, because the power is in the purse. The power is in your ability to cut a check and spend for a new program and a new project and to keep funding the operations. But, if Donald Trump thought that his Venezuelan strategy of taking out Maduro is the same strategy in Iran, way off, way, way off. And this quagmire that he's in, I hope that he just keeps delivering lethal strikes and guerrilla fighting. To do mass deployments means that we've learned nothing, and he's not the general that we think he is. And most of these historical leader generals are failures. Napoleon, Hitler, the list goes on and on. They make huge strategic blunders. Look at Stalingrad. Germany lost 250,000 soldiers, killing 1 million Soviets. Is America prepared to even lose 100 more men on the ground in a battle? Or 10,000 or 100,000 men? And if we open up that can of worms in Iran, it's going to open up Pandora's box in other parts of the world. Other countries that have anger against America are going to take that opportunity to politically and militarily rub it in our fucking faces, and we will regret any major activity. We need lethal from the air, from the ground strikes with small strategic guerrilla commando raids to achieve our political ends and desired political end state in Iran, which is regime change. And that might...
1 minute, progressive. 1 minute.
Let me just finish up about Fauci. Fauci is a fucking lying rat, snake, evil Democrat, twisted, demented piece of shit, scumbag shit bucket. And we should deskin him, turn him into powder, and send every American a little packet of Fauci particulate so we can all individually flush him down the toilet. This has been a cancerous disaster, a clot shot, myocarditis disaster for our country. We've been lied to, we've been propagandized to, and this was all in the making. 10, 20 years. Big Pharma was the internet of the day, and this pandemic, scandemic, if you drink the Kool-Aid and you still wear the Dr. Fauci party hat, well, you might have buyer's remorse from your 2 Zabs and your 3 boosters. But many Americans resisted and fought back and were willing to risk everything to say, no, I don't want an unnecessary injection into my bloodstream with no scientific data, verification, or proof that it even does anything, let alone it's not a health booster. These spike proteins have made people very sick, have killed millions on impact. They estimate 14 million Americans have died from the Zav injection. And they've misrepresented the COVID-19 infections as the flu. The World Health Organization is a criminal organization. All of this is for profit. It's not for your health. It's all to deceive you, to propagandize and hypnotize and spam you, to get you to do unnecessary things, to create more unnecessary circumstances in your life so the Medicare, Medicaid scam can keep going. But America is $200 trillion in debt, or even more. And a lot of you taxpayers owe $500,000. This situation is not good. We need some type of new radical revolutionary change to the system, which is really Ayn Randiism, which is the separation of economy and state. I rest my case. I am complete.
Thank you. Andrew is next. Hi, Andrew. Good morning.
Good morning from DuPont Circle in Washington, D.C. I
Good morning.
am wonderfully aware, at least by hanging out with people here, of how this political cycle is going to run. It is actually not the fault of a lot of what people think. I think Trump messed up when he did Liberation Day. Liberation Day literally is the reason these midterms are going bad. It happened in April of last year. That was when people started to realize that, maybe Donald Trump was kind of crazy about how much fraud there is in academia and how much people overstate, and that he kept going to war about, oh, these nosy intellectuals. But then I remember around the Liberation Day of last year, it's like, okay, well, maybe we should have made an exception for people from Princeton, because Princeton, I think it's like people are actually pretty conservative there. They are New York City type of people. They're not gangsters like the local Sopranos. Like, I think people start to realize around Liberation Day that you cannot be as anti-elitist as Donald Trump was saying, because then you don't. Then it's like, why did previous generations of Americans, who you're claiming actually were the better Americans back when the demographics were all white and everything, right? Like, why did those people even invent Princeton? Why do you, as a person, think that these people are that stupid? Do you think Paul Krugman is stupid? Paul Krugman won the Nobel Prize. I mean, yes, he's an ideologue. Yes, he writes every day for the, like, maybe he writes every day as an op-ed, but he won the Nobel Prize. Like, the thing is, like, all these things, there's just a limit to how crazy you can be. But now, I do support Trump over a lot of these progressives, and that's why I would still be personally voting for Trump in the midterms. But I also think he did this to himself. Like, I personally will vote for Trump, but he should have done Liberation Day. Countries all over Europe, even the conservative ones, like Hungary, got blindsided by this, right? That's my 2 cents.
Oh, thank you, Andrew. If anybody in the audience wants to come up, please do. Other than that, stage is open. Just keep it one at a time.
They're saying if the Trump administration doesn't take action against Dr. Fauci, that all these Republican senatorial hearings, congressional hearings, are just a waste of time. It's just
Are you
content.
saying for something that he did after January of 2025 or before?
Well, the pardon goes back to 2014, correct?
The pardon for everything and anything is between 2014 and 2025. You said you want Trump to take action against him for what? I'm not going to ask for what, but take action for something that he did prior to or after January of 2025. Because he essentially retired after January of 2025. I'm not aware he's been accused of anything post January 25, right?
Well, my point. Right. Well, I'm sorry.
Just stick on this one thing for a moment, then you can go on the narrative. Are you saying Trump should take action against him for something he did post January 2025 because he effectively retired? Right?
Sure. Yes, Steve.
So he didn't do anything wrong. So you're talking about prior.
No, he did a lot wrong, Steve. He did a lot wrong. I don't know why you do this Q, and I know it's your room, and you're a green bean with a green bean butthole. You can do whatever you want with your green bean asshole.
You know what? You say the Trump administration should take action against Fauci.
Correct, Steve. Correct.
There's no action to take for anything he did after January of 25 because he didn't do anything wrong. So it has to be before January of 25, and he's got a full pardon. So you want Trump administration to take action against him for something he has a complete and full pardon. Okay, now go ahead.
Let me contribute to this a little bit while Progressive is gathering his thoughts.
And maybe now he knows why I do what I do.
You're welcome. Please. So, Fauci, let's start with the bad news. Fauci definitely was elusive, evasive in leading the country during COVID, or leading the efforts regarding COVID during this pandemic. Trump didn't know what to do because this is not his field, and we all turned to Fauci to guide us. And his guidance was stupid and bad, I would say.
And Norm, I'm going to interrupt you very quickly because still to this day, we have not heard from Fauci or anybody whether or not COVID started at the lab or at an open market. Come on. We all know it started from the lab, but yet nobody has said anything.
Steve, that is, I will tell you what, I mean, like, I tend to believe the lab theory, but 90% of experts,
Yes.
it's the consensus. I was just listening to a podcast, I forget what news podcast.
Yeah.
But like an overwhelming number of experts are saying the opinion is moved to it's animal based. I know. Again, I tend to think.
And again, Scott, Reverend Scott, I'm sorry. When I say that, I'm giving obviously my opinion, not my field of expertise.
John Stewart did say if you're in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and Hershey was flooded with chocolate sauce, it's a safe assumption to say it came from Hershey Park, from the Hershey factory. But I don't know. But like I said, it is interesting that one of the stuff that I heard has been that the scientists that work on this, the neurologists.
And you notice the media and nobody's talking about this anymore. It's like it's a dropped subject. It's an unresolved issue that, in my opinion, is extremely important. But go ahead, Reverend.
Another crossing burned.
Yeah, no, it is. It's an interesting issue, and I think that I mean, vaccines are an important part of public life right now, right? They stuff in the light of day. I mean, I think also we can be. Bill Maher has said he's not an anti-vaxxer at all, but he didn't want the COVID vaccine, right? And people tried to deride him for that. He said, no, I just didn't think I needed a healthy amount of risk. I think use the vaccine that is not, is not tested a lot. He didn't want it. And I think, we have to be able to make space for that stuff and not deride people. Even though I'm a pro-vax guy, I love vaccines. I get every vaccine. Every time I go to CVS, I ask them, what new vaccines can I get? I'm a max vaxxer.
Vaxxing and relaxing.
I'm max vax relax.
Keep the river scum from reaching King's Landing. So, well, we should keep that joke going. I will say though, I think if we should mention John Stewart, and if there was a chocolate flood in Hershey, Pennsylvania, there's a high likelihood that it came from the chocolate factory. Yeah, and I've been there many times because we used to have a house near there when my kids were little. So the idea that this virus came from the strange mating of a cat and a pangolin seems laughable.
Norm, John Stewart said this about 2 years ago. You can find it. John Stewart said that he thought it was from the lab of Stephen Colbert's show, and Colbert freaked out. I mean, Colbert, he didn't deride him because it's his mentor, but Colbert was apoplectic. He couldn't believe that John Stewart would break from the liberal line and say he thought it was from the lab.
But why is that even a liberal position?
I don't know. It's why is anything a liberal or conservative position these days? It's just when you're
it's arbitrary.
It's interesting. You look at how Russia used to poll, right? Russia used to be very, Democrats were not as hawkish on Russia. They were more. Russia polled higher with Democrats. Then Trump got in office, and all of a sudden, Russia polled higher with Republicans, or higher with Republicans than Democrats. The NFL, Democrats used to poll lower, Republicans used to poll higher. Then Kirkpatrick and the kneeling came. Then all of a sudden, NFL went down with Republicans, went up with Democrats. It is so tribal, and so many people just say, what does my team say? And I'll go with that. Which is not the most critical approach to life.
So there were, I believe, more than one lab in Wuhan doing gain of function. Well, there was more than one lab in China doing gain of function research, and at the very beginning of the pandemic, Fauci told us. He told the American people that he set up those labs, he was supervising them, and he was in touch with people stopped talking about it. And the reason why he told us that at the time was to reassure us that he'd be the right guy to lead us through the crisis. And frankly, I believed him. Maybe I was stupid to believe him. Because what has come out in his diary is really, really disturbing. We see a man besotted with himself, a man who is now being invited to all of these Hollywood-style, Washington, D.C. style social events and parties being written to by famous people. And soon this guy, I think, went way out over his skis and started suggesting things like, well, we could have sex, but we should use a dental dam when kissing. I remember him saying this. So I guess we have a...
That's hot.
Thank you. I'm here to place you. We have a human tendency to put people on pedestals, an equally human tendency to then want to tear them down and to accuse them rightfully of having feet of clay. And it's not very helpful. So first we put him on a pedestal. We did the same thing with Andy Cuomo. First he was on a pedestal and now we're throwing rocks at him. Andy Cuomo is governor of New York State at that time.
But that's not what's happening, El Normo. Democrats aren't doing that to Fauci. They're not tearing him down, and they're still praising him and holding him up. Look at the X accounts of these senators. And
when I say we, I include Republicans. They're also part of the great we. Now, Fauci is not guilty of murder. He's not guilty of crimes against humanity. He's not some sort of evil genius. I think he was doing his best to navigate the political high wire when we go into a pandemic and massive social restrictions are put into place. The decision to keep much of the country closed for 18 months was disastrous. Disastrous, disastrous, disastrous. And I will speak as the father of school-age children who were very badly affected by being forced to switch from going to school and socializing and growing up with their friends and sitting at home in front of a screen pretending to participate in life through Zoom. It was really bad. And I blame the Democrats for this decision. My party. So, Fauci, I think, should be held accountable for bad decisions. I don't think he committed any crimes. And let me also be clear, Rand Paul is freaking crazy. He is he's his own thing. He is a complete non-interventionist in everything. He's a complete non-spender in everything.
I read a study years ago in some psychological journal that libertarians are the most consistent politically. That they put like they even to a fault, right? I mean, and I
just don't stop with this crazy stuff.
Yeah, I think that is totally Rand Paul, right? I mean, he's consistent to a fault, right? They say, what do they say? Foolishness is the hobgoblin of the narrow mind.
No. This is Emerson. A foolish consistency is the hobgoblin of small minds and petty statesmen.
Yes, I mean, I like Rand Paul in some sense, just because he does sometimes, he is a man of conscience in some ways, but he is sometimes ludicrously, he's out there sometimes.
He's way out there. All right, so with all of that said, let's deal with Fauci a little bit. Here's my beef with Fauci. He's lack of candor, as they say in the FBI. He's not being candid with the American people, and it's destructive. And he became extremely ego-driven, as is demonstrated by his diary. I don't know how they got a copy of this guy's diary, by the way. He's complaining about it if he didn't publish it. How come they have his diary? Are they living with him or something?
That's okay. I want to know how they got his diary.
Yeah, what did they do? Steal it off his nightstand? Maybe he submitted it to a publisher, and the publisher leaked it. Otherwise, I don't know. Do they have? Is he in a hotel and they have a pinhole camera in the mirror, and they're Because what's going on? So I think there are questions to be answered regarding Mr. Fauci. Nothing to do with criminality, although Biden's vast, overreaching pardon of everybody he ever met in his life, plus the state of Louisiana, and anybody who is born or ever will be born, on this planet or any other. The extent of his parts were quite eye-popping. Trump seems to have overdone it with pardons, and Biden competitively outdid Trump even with his overuse of pardons.
Well, I guarantee Trump's gonna outdo Biden by the time he gets out. President before has been said he doesn't like to be outdone.
Let me taste it you a little bit and recommend that you suggest it rather than guarantee it. It'll provide you with a little bit of protection. So why don't you hold forth a little bit, Agent? I think I've thrown out some fairly provocative thoughts, and I'd like to hear some intelligent responses to this. For example, the Fauci deal. Why I think it's important for our leaders to be candid, and that they seem to demonstrate the very opposite. Or anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah. I mean, for me, for an 85-year-old who, had a lot of, he was an egomaniac at some point. And, if you listen to that hearing, I mean, it was just a humiliation ritual mostly, because it's going to be hard to, get him behind bars or whatever. I was hopeful even originally when...
There's no crime. There's no crime to put him behind bars. Except the only thing I would say, he might have a little liability for contempt of Congress.
Yeah, exactly. And I was hopeful when the pardon thing happened, and people were like, well, now that he's got immunity, he can actually tell us, the full truth. And I just feel like, I personally, just as far as, whatever, legacy and all these things, I could have so much more respect for a man that when he's given complete, protection all around, could just be like, look, here's the deal. Let me be really honest about this is where I really think I screwed up. I just would respect him so deeply if he could do that. And he chose the other path. Let me get 20 super high-paid lawyers, and they're all just in what is the most defensive act we can take on our client. Yep, just leave them. Yep, we'll play this game, even if, they'll do a vote in Congress to try to take you down, but that's the game we're going to play because we think this is how you're best protected according to the way we see the world. But it's just like, I don't know, I don't like to look at the world. I don't like to, life to me isn't just about, did you get, it's bigger than just, did you get convicted for a crime? It's like, there's things more meaningful than that. And I think, this was a huge event in world history. Millions of people dead. I mean, the scale of it is incredible. And if he did have if he knew more about what happened, or could at least give some color to it. Obviously, it's not like he did this alone. But if he was and then even if he did a cover-up and be like, look, this was a mistake. I helped to I was afraid for this and this reason. I could just respect a man as just a soul, on a much deeper level if he was capable of that. And I would hope that if I were in his position at age 85 and somehow all of that had happened, that I would have that type of character to just be able to say, this is what happened.
Well, we turn to him because of his political position as a doctor and supposedly an expert in pandemics, and because of his experience with the AIDS pandemic. And then later it comes out, for those who looked, that his handling of the AIDS pandemic was also somewhat controversial, and that really his skills, rather than being medical, are more political. And I guess that's just the way it goes. I mean, I think, you can divide the world into people who get it politically and people who don't. And he's somebody who got it politically. I guess go ahead.
I just just wanted to make some clarifications. The consensus amongst scientists has not shifted. It was never majority viewing lab leak as being the most likely outcome. Never ever at any point.
Decided democratically.
But this is
We don't decide this on
I'm commenting. No. But it's still not the consensus.
It's not plausible.
One second. It is plausible. I've provided the link in the chat. So maybe we
I'm not sure what link you provided.
it's the World Health Organization's.
They're not credible. They've been discredited.
One second. They have.
What do you mean one second? Why don't you engage with what I'm saying?
Identify. I'm speaking to Scott, so I'm kind of.
Well, you're not speaking to Scott.
60% of the known earliest human cases in December 2019 involved people who worked at the market, made purchases there, lived near it, or had some epidemiological link to it.
Right?
The claim that
here's the problem. Hang on, I'm going to stop you for a second.
The claim that there
Hang on,
is
I'm going to
some
stop you
sort.
for a second. Hang on, I'm going to stop you for a second. Just hang on. The question to Fauci was there gain-of-function research going on in Wuhan? He wouldn't answer the question. The claim to Fauci, hang on. He has a responsibility to be credible. He has a responsibility, hang on a second. He has a responsibility to be honest. If you're lying about something, the public wants to know why
Not
you're
answering
lying.
is not lying.
But, well, he said that he had been in
Not
charge of
answering is
anything.
not lying.
Okay, if you're not giving the public information, the public wants to know why.
Not
Now you're
answering is
sitting
not
there.
lying.
So not
It's
answering, if you're not answering, the public wants to know why. So you're not engaging with the question.
So,
you have as little credibility as he does. That's number one.
The claim
Hang
was
on a
made
second.
that there
Hang on a
was
second. Hang on. You see my mod badge, Adam?
I don't give a fuck about your mod badge.
Good, then go back to the audience. Or leave the room.
The claim was made that the Hershey's, if you see like a leak of chocolate at a Hershey's factory in Hershey, Pennsylvania, like claim from the Hershey's factory. This is not a good analogy, right? Because chocolate is not a naturally.
So
No,
I'm going to
chocolate.
focus you on the question. Now, supposedly by reputation,
Yeah,
you have some
chocolate.
experience with.
Yeah, chocolate is.
Okay. So I'd heard from somebody that you might have had some experience with this, but clearly you don't have experience with speaking. If you will be modded, then you can come back up. I see you raising your hand. And so I will say again, Fauci has a responsibility to be honest with the American people. What he did yesterday was a public, was an embarrassment. Fauci, according to reports that he shared, ran gain-of-function research in Wuhan. And we need to know if that is true. And we need to have information on the safety history of the gain-of-function laboratories in Wuhan. Because according to what I have seen, they had a history of bad safety practices, and there had been leaks before. So the idea that this had to do with a pangolin and a bat is somewhat laughable. And thanks for mentioning that the World Health Organization has a different opinion, because that reinforces their loss of credibility. And what we're seeing from both parties, but right now we're talking about the Democratic Party because Fauci is a Democratic appointee, or he leans Democratic, or seems to be a Democratic person. We have seen the destruction of the credibility of our institutions. And what the gentleman, Adam, what you just did up here, added to the destruction of credibility. This question is not about the World Health Organization. This question is about Fauci taking the fifth on every topic on the stand.
Hi, El Normo.
If you want to not talk over me, if you want to address that.
Hi, El Normo. This is Progressive.
Are you on board or are you not on board with Fauci taking the fifth on every single question?
Hello. I just wanted to say that X is.
Wait, I asked Adam a question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Did you want to speak to the topic, or do you want to go off on something else? Adam.
Yeah. So it's very clear that this is a witch hunt because the
No, I'm
consensus
not
amongst the
interested in your
scientists
ideas of which one.
is what
You
it
think he
is.
should have taken
Right?
the fifth or not?
Yes, he should have. Yes,
Okay,
he should have because it's a witch hunt.
Tell us why you feel the American people are.
Because it's
Hang on. Tell us why you feel the American people are benefiting from
I've
this.
answered.
No, you
because it's a
haven't.
witch hunt.
Okay, all right. You don't want to answer the question. I don't blame you. So you're as bad as he is.
I've answered. I've answered
No,
the
you haven't
question.
answered. Why should he take
These
the
are credible people,
Okay.
and
let me
Fauci
try
does not have an obligation to
It's not
answer the
credible
question.
when you take the fifth. It makes you seem guilty. So
That's fine.
we
That's
agree.
not what the Constitution says.
That's not what this. Well, I disagree with you. The Constitution doesn't address credibility.
The Constitution has the Fifth Amendment.
Okay, yes, it has the Fifth Amendment. It doesn't mention credibility, and you are as uncredible as Fauci. Now, you didn't want to answer the question, so I don't know why you want to come up on stage. Supposedly you know something about this topic, and yet you refuse to engage with it, and that destroys your credibility as well. I'm sorry. And I get a little bit sick of you trying to derail the conversations. So Fauci apparently knows something about pandemics, and yet he refused to inform the American people when he had the chance. In fact, he wasn't candid with the American people. According to him, he was involved in setting up gain-of-function research in Wuhan, and he wouldn't address it. And I'd like to know why. And if you wanted to...
El Normo.
Go ahead. I'm going to see what the...
El Normo, can I just
What's that?
Can I just read something here? It says one of the top five...
If it's on topic. If it's off topic, then no.
It's all about Fauci. One of the top 5 side effects of the vaccine is a blood clot. A type of blood clot is a pulmonary embolism, which he had pulmonary embolism, but then they also described as pulmonary infarct. You can die from this. About 6 out of every 10,000 young people got a heart inflammation. The COVID vaccine was more dangerous for young people than the COVID virus. Fauci lied. That's what Rand Paul...
Okay, stop right there. What's your source on this?
Benny Johnson on X and Rand Paul doing an interview.
Who the hell is Benny Johnson?
He's
And why are we listening?
Who the hell are you? Benny Johnson's got millions of... He's in the news. See, this is the problem with Clown House. You guys all live in your own little echo chamber. It's an eco bubble. Hello?
Because you're talking...
Thank you. Oh, God, I wanted to do that.
You're talking nonsense here from Benny Johnson, and between Benny Johnson and Adam. I mean, my I mean, the Republicans can now run on Fauci.
I mean, the thing, well, yeah, I mean, if you watch the thing, it was humiliating. There's a bunch of things. Like, one thing, even if it's a witch hunt, even if it's, like, completely biased.
What's a witch hunt about it? We want him to answer the question. How is that a witch hunt? He's got immunity. He's got immunity.
No, I hear you. Like, I think there's a very good case why we should have hearings and accountability for what the hell happened. This was a very big deal. And to politicize it to this degree, now, yeah, Rand Paul has, like, he's like a bloodhound or something. he's very fixated. That's fine. This is his issue, especially, and let's let him have it. Good. But, in the bigger
physical explanations.
Explanations of what?
Metaphysics.
Explanations of what?
Like, does the external world exist? Well, we can only know that because of the Bible.
Actually, no. Empirical science pretty much proves that the external
Hello?
No, you'd be using evidence from the external world.
Well, PMARS, your question is like asking,
I'm
is
sorry.
Arnold Schwarzenegger a Schwartz? Is Arnold Schwarzenegger a black man? That's like what PMARS is saying when, is reality only reality because of the Bible? Here we go again with another amazing Narja's Daniel room. This is your morning reset, everybody. Don't get sucked into the clubhouse black hole that ruins your entire day, wasting your time talking about nothing, wasting all your time. You guys know you're doing it right now. You guys are fucking retarded. If you don't like books or the library and all you want to do is just chat all day to get your dopamine...
John, please not go. I think he's right.
Fucking am, right? You guys are retarded, wasting your time picking your nose and picking your toes. This is for losers. You guys are doing nothing all day long, stroking your egos. Reality's not real because the Bible is not real. God is not real. Books are not real. There is no such thing as a book. Let's not talk about what's in the book. Let's talk about what my feelings and opinions say they say. I hate books. I'm not in a book club. I haven't read a book in 20 years. Books are meaningless. Let's never talk about books. Hello?
As a favor to me, would you please stop?
Okay, thank you. I am complete. I'll leave you guys back to your dinner for schmucks, mental retardation. Have a great day, everybody. Take care now. Hope you enjoyed the show.
Fuck off, retard.
Retard says what? What? Projection mirror says what? Fucking retard. You're the retard. Fuck you, Casey, you retarded fucktard.
Called everyone else retarded first, right? So that was projection. I just mirrored it back at you.
Well, I'm mirroring it back at you. How does it feel to have the mirrors turn back around again?
I would say you're really annoying, and I think maybe you should go away.
Why? So you can continue to dominate the stage with your superior intellectual abilities and knowledge?
You're doing right now with your superior intellectual abilities, calling other people retards? Is that what you're doing? Oh,
I can see this conversation has devolved into a mindless, boring projection mirror game. I'm just gonna leave, and then you guys can all witness how you're wasting your time every day. Take care now. Do your job, moderators, and lead the conversation into productive conversation. Take care now. Ta-ta!
go suck a dick, ta-ta!
Projection mirror says what? You're gonna suck a dick this weekend?
I like sucking dick, and why don't you go do that?
You like sucking dick, and you want me to go suck a dick?
Honestly, please.
But wait, I thought you wanted me to suck a dick? You sure you don't want me to suck a dick right now? I could suck a dick, Casey. What do you think? Projection mirror says suck a dick, so maybe I should suck a dick. Does anybody here want their dick sucked? Does anybody here want me to suck their dick?
Yes. Yes, queen.
You are my empress and my queen, P. Mars. I shall sucketh your blacketh Arnold Schwarzenegger dicketh, so Casey can get his dick suck projection completed. I have landed my plane, and I am complete.
I think it would be like a weird experience to get your dick sucked by a progressive.
That's like the best when they have dentures because
Is it free? He's not charging, is he?
they can take the dentures out.
Is this how you refute world religions? Because I'm pretty sure if you wanted to refute all world religions, you'd have to get into the book club and like open up the Quran or open up like the New Testament or the Old Testament or the Mosaic texts or the Bhagavad Gita or the Upanishads or like the Buddha's Dhammapada or Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching. There's so many books we could talk about if you guys want to refute all world religions. But if you guys want to play this retarded game of retard dinner for schmucks, just keep doing it. You guys do it every day, all day.
They all fucking asleep.
No, I just woke up. So are we discussing what? Sorry. What are we discussing?
I mean, it really was no discussion. It was just a person being completely belligerent.
Oh, no.
Well, since there's no God, then we can fit all world religions, right? Since there's no God, that means there was no Jesus, no Muhammad, Buddha. We can just throw all those things away, right? Now we deal with how did these books actually get here? Where did this shit actually come from then?
Middle East.
I don't know if this is exactly the same thing as what you're saying, but having my background is I am a white American dude that was raised in the Christian church biggest, the biggest thing that I don't understand is the truth value that is in the
Okay, there's that. Oh my gosh. People are just sad. People are sad.
Hey man, y'all got my boy Peter. Y'all got my boy Peter crashing out on this stage, man.
Yeah.
Well, bro, he wants his
Peter,
own
take
people
a breath,
to die.
brother.
You ask them, they'll say that
experiencing
he
this,
says
the
it's
rest of you
okay for his people to die. It's justified. It's justified for me.
Civilized conversation is for civilized people, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, you're really civilized, bro.
People that have never experienced
What happened to the Iranian people?
I think that
They're being
he
slaughtered by
said
their own
that
fucking government.
Yeah,
that you
and guess
can.
what? Now
We
Israel is
shouldn't
slaughtering
let
them.
people like Bibi to decide because
Israel
he
is
would sell us
slaughtering.
out when he can.
Israel is slaughtering them. You know how they slaughtered?
Peter, they're gonna recruit you, bro.
I want to hear from Al.
I don't need you.
I've heard from y'all. I want to hear from what Al has to say.
Everybody is good more. I was grown on my father's. I am not a bastard like you. I was grown on my father's table. I am not like
You
you.
are a
I
bastard.
ate the.
You're
One
a
mic on L.
Make everybody responsible for
One
that.
mic on L. One mic on L.
Let me say this.
One mic on L.
You ate the
One mic on L.
Peter, I got you.
We would make sure.
One mic on L.
Peter, pumpkin eater, the mic has been passed to L.
You have to do that. Look, here's the thing. I wish that people had just an ounce of empathy. What you fail to understand is I understand Peter. I actually have Iranian friends, like real Iranian friends I grew up with who came here after the revolution. They have family there. And I think if you don't have at least an ounce of empathy to understand what it must be like to pray for bombs, none of you can understand that. Because we have ultimate freedom. We don't walk around like these people do. And if they are praying for bombs, try to understand what that mindset must look like. These are not free people. These are severely oppressed people. This is the government that hung Olympic athletes. Think about that. 18, 19, 20-year-old young adults. For peaceful, extremely peaceful protests, and they were proud about it. Imagine putting cranes in the town square to hang people, not to erect buildings, but to hang Olympic athletes who didn't.
That's a blatant lie.
It's not a fucking lie, and it's people like you who I hope that this system is survive. I hope that you experience.
So, you're saying that Iranian people are asking to be bombed? Is that what you're saying right now?
Yes.
Peter is not
Yes.
wrong. Peter does not represent Iran. Peter does not represent Iran.
And you are
Iranian people.
Iranian.
You understand. You made a claim. You said, Peter, you shut the fuck up. I'm sorry. Yes, you understand. You made a claim now. Oh my God, who's this guy?
Let Brownie talk.
Gosh.
Brownie, one mic on Brownie. Peter,
He just said we are both dogs, by the way. He just made a claim.
Peter, we were coming to we were coming.
No.
One mic on Brownie.
Let the Brown speak, Brownie. Let Brownie speak, bro. Let Brownie speak.
Alright, I will officially start smoking y'all niggas, bro. I ain't giving. I will officially. So, who want to be my first victim?
So look, listen, Al, you made a claim that Iranian people are asking to be bombed. Can you back it up? Because Peter does not.
If we back that up with the blackout of all communications, is that how you keep people quiet? Yes, it is.
During war? During war?
We don't do that.
During war?
But you know who does?
Who's we?
You asked me.
Yeah,
one second. Let Brownie and ask Brett.
Who's we? This is
Yeah.
He asked L. I don't. So let L answer the question.
Okay. Go ahead, Al.
I don't want to hear from nobody else.
At no point during any war have we lost the ability to communicate. But do you know places that do, where there is a dictatorship where people do not want the truth to be told. That is the type of regime
L,
that
who is
shuts
we?
down
Answer this question.
communication.
Who is we?
That's the
Yeah,
type of
why can't you answer a simple question? Who is we?
I am answering the question.
Okay.
One second,
Can I answer a little bit?
One second,
It's okay.
L, can you listen?
There
One
are
second.
people who are getting
Arey,
communications
one
out, and in fact, the regime
wait,
wasn't
wait.
even quiet about it.
I have a
we
They
question.
were
in
proud
Israel?
of it.
I have a question. So this is
Timothy, can Brownie and L just talk to each other?
I have one question. So they blacked
Once
out the country.
pineapple, pineapple.
Jumped into the room.
Tranny L.
Mute up.
Alright, that's how I'm gonna do this.
Timothy, let Brownie and L do back and forth, bro. I'm curious to know what the
Just have one
conversation's
more
like.
statement. You talked about like the communication blackout, right? Well, it never happened in Europe, but you know that it's in French constitution that during wartime they can black out the communication. Do you know that?
You know the
Is
free world
France
doesn't do
dictatorship?
that? Do you know that?
It's France
The free world
dictatorship.
doesn't do that. Who does that?
Okay,
North Korea,
it is in
North Korea,
it is in French.
Iran,
It is in
Egypt,
French constitution.
Places like this.
It is in French constitution.
Yeah, French
France
constitution,
is
but
not,
they don't
is
do
not,
it.
it's
Honey, they
not
don't
during
do
war
it.
because it's not during war.
We've
Wait
been
for
in
the time
plenty
that
of wars.
France
We
is
don't
going to be
black out
invaded.
communication.
No, wait for the
that's what
time. Wait for the time when France is going to be invaded because
we
that's
have
in the
that.
constitution.
Listen.
No. Right now, in 2026, in 2026, right now, if France is going to be invaded, let me talk. You asked me a question. You made a claim. I get to answer the claim. You said it's a dictatorship because they had a blackout for communication.
Right.
What I'm saying to you is that in French constitution, and I can pull up the link, there is this exact same line that during the war, it's one of the things.
Peter, let them talk. Shut up.
France. I'm giving an example.
Peter, let them talk.
Peter.
Brownie, I love the point you're making. I love the point you're making. However, in practice, it doesn't
No,
happen.
I haven't landed yet. Let me finish.
Well, in
Let me
practice,
finish.
it doesn't happen. Brownie.
France
Kind of
is not being invaded
Timothy,
right now.
can you please mute Peter, bro?
France is not being
I
invaded
fuck
right now.
with Peter, so I'm giving him a long
Yeah.
but
He gets attacked. Yeah,
the leash is about to break, man.
Yeah, I know.
Western
I
countries
know.
don't
So the answer to your question, El, is that if you want the dictatorship because of the blackout in communication, if France was being invaded in 2026 right now, it's in the constitution and they can do the same thing. So is France a dictatorship?
but they don't do it. And
Peter,
this
can you shut up and let them talk?
what about and they might, and they could. The fact of the
How
matter
is it what about? How is it what about? You made the claim, El.
the places
You made
in
a
the
claim.
world that shut down
How is it what about?
are Iran,
I'm sticking to the point. I'm
places, and
sticking
it's
to the
just the
point.
truth.
You made a
Sorry,
claim. El, just a moment.
Why is it so hard for you?
Okay, yo, we're gonna do the claim. I'm gonna say.
Who the fuck are you?
One last time. You made a claim. You made a claim. You said that Iran is a dictatorship because.
So people got to start set some order. It's too early in the morning for me to be dealing with this bullshit. So.
I got you, bro, but when you're ready to bring them up, I'm curious.
I'm gonna do one-on-one. Hold on. Timothy. Who was it Brownie talking to?
He was talking to L.
Okay. El, did you finish your submission? I'll bring up Brownie now. But Brownie, just chill out. Hold on, just wait for it to finish. Go ahead, El. El.
Man, snoring some good coke.
I am.
Well, here's the fact of the matter. I love the whataboutism. I'm like, oh, France could do it. France, one fucking tiny speck of a country, could do it. Fact is, they haven't done it, nor does any Western country cut off communication during wartime. But you know who does? The CCP does that. North Korea does that. Iran does that. You know who else does that? Hamas does that to their people. This is the shit of shithole countries. And I'm sorry if you can't take it. It is the truth. Western countries don't cut off communications amongst their own people and the outside world.
I have a question.
Matt, can you bring Brownie up and let them have his
So,
Pineapple, can you be quiet a second, bro?
It's a small question. It will take me 5 seconds.
Who's speaking right now?
It was
Because
pineapple.
they are cutting electricity. Did the war start because of that?
Brandy can't get
electricity.
Hold
They
on.
cut communication.
So they cut communication, so that's why America attacked Iran, and that's how war started.
Okay. We gotta have order. Order in the court. Okay, Brownie's back. Okay, Brownie, go ahead, respond to L. Go for it.
How is it whataboutism if I'm sticking to the point and I'm giving another example of another country, another European country, which I gave you one.
They never
France.
utilized it.
Your comeback was that, oh, they have never done it. Maybe it's because France is not being invaded. Yeah, get it, of course. Maybe it's because France is not being invaded.
And
Is
when
France
they were
being
invaded,
invaded
they
right
didn't
now?
stop the fucking mail. Did they?
It is a hypothetical.
None of that happened. They couldn't
Is France being invaded right now? Could you tell me why?
Yes.
Are you serious? World War II, they're invaded. What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. Okay, 100 years ago, there was internet 100 years ago. During World War II, they had internet connection. Is that what you're saying? We're talking about internet connection?
Communications.
So 100 years ago, there was internet communication?
Yes.
When was the last time that France was invaded? L, when was the last time that France was invaded?
Yeah, you could still communicate.
When was the last time that France was invaded?
And when they were, they could still communicate. Were you having shit in your ear?
When was it? When was it? When was the last time that France
They
was
didn't
invaded?
cut off the phones. Do you understand? Do you get
Okay,
that?
if there wasn't, if internet was not there, so how is it the same situation?
But the phone was, and they didn't cut off communication, right?
Radio. 100 years ago, they had cell phones in France. Is that what you're saying? They had Instagram, they had Clubhouse.
They cut off the connection of the internet. There were no fucking internet back then, you fucking idiot.
But they had the
No fucking tranny bitch.
What is the
There was no
connectivity?
fucking internet.
baby sugars,
It's
babies,
constitutional
babies.
law. L.
They had
Let's see if you understand. L.
Not the internet, you fuck. That's not
L.
They had mail. And they
Just a
could
moment,
use
if I may.
They had mail.
If I
We're
may,
not
if I
getting
may.
our mails.
Look, what was
They
cut
were
off
able
in
to
Iran?
mail,
What
they
was
were able to communicate
No,
with the
L.
world.
What was cut off in Iran? Was it phones or was it internet connection?
Well, it is internet now, how people communicate. God, are you guys
So we're talking about internet being cut off, right? You're the stupid one.
This
Yeah,
is
you're
the
exposing
most
yourself.
lowbrow
So
conversation.
Iran cut off the internet connection.